I really have had anxiety since I was really young. I remember as a kid having anxiety in, social situations. Um, as a child, you don't understand that. You think everyone must feel this way, so you don't know how to communicate it. So, of course, I just lived that way. And as I got into high school and adulthood, um, I started to have I guess more intense attacks in usually social situations. About 6 years ago, um, started having the panic attacks. I think I ended up in the emergency room, and the doctor was like, "You're just having a panic attack," and he said it so matter of fact that I thought, "What do you mean, just a panic attack?" I was, you're certain that you're about to die, so it can't just be just a panic attack. And he gave me something to sleep it off there in the hospital, and then I went home. So I went to the doctor, kind of follow up, now that I knew what it was. It kept happening, and I was just became anxious all the time. So went to physician. Of course, they wanted to put me on, antidepressant and anti-anxiety medications, which I did, and started seeing a counselor. And so, with the help of all those things initially, it helped, but it didn't get, it wasn't, hey, this will heal and recover. It was more of a band-aid, just kind of helped, but it wasn't really solving the issue. In the beginning, it was just the panic attacks. And then as the panic attacks started to happen more often, I began to worry throughout the day, well, when is it going to happen again? And then the general anxiety kicked in. I can remember 6 years ago when it began. A good friend of mine who I spent time with every day. I was a stay-at-home mom, and she lived in the neighborhood. And we got the babies together every day, went for walks, and I stopped answering the door when she would ring, and I just I just stopped functioning pretty much. I stayed in my robe all day. I didn't get dressed. I stopped talking with my friends. I stopped going out, and all those things became such a struggle, so difficult to physically do. It felt like it took so much energy to do simple things. And so, yeah, she actually said, what's going on? You're just, something, you're not yourself lately. And so definitely I stopped doing all the things I loved. I was in a constant state of panic and anxiety and worry. And that's how I went through every day. It was just let's get through this day. And at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I've survived another day. I get to go to sleep now so I can have some peace and wake up and do it all over again. It affected my family life, and like I said, my friends. I stopped wanting to go out and visit with them, and my husband, he could tell, like, we would be sitting around the living room, the table, whatever, and he would start to talk to me, and I wouldn't hear what he was saying. I would be so inward, focused inward on my thoughts and how I felt, that I wouldn't even know or notice that he had begun to talk to me. And he would say, sweetie, where are you? And he could always tell when I was, where I was, as far as, I was inward focused, because I couldn't even focus to have a conversation with him, in the comfort of our own home. I stopped talking with my friends. I stopped going out, and all those things became such a struggle, so difficult to physically do. It felt like it took so much energy to do simple things. I found Panic Away about, I think, in March. So I signed up to get the initial free emails from you. And in the car, actually, on the way, it was about a 5-hour drive. I was anxious from the get-go, but I opened up one of the emails that you had sent me and was reading that on the way. And I was telling John that this guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, I had never read anything else from any doctor, counselor who explained it and described it the way that you did. And I thought he knows what I'm suffering from. And that I knew that you had actually experienced it yourself, because you can't explain that unless you like the way that you had without having experienced it. And that alone gave me such a sense of hope. The biggest thing that the program has given me is that confidence and trust in my body back. Now I still get sensations. These are just that. They're just sensations. I'm excited to talk to Barry. It just normal sensations that before would have triggered that fear. And now, I'm able to say, okay, it's completely normal sensations. It's okay for them to be here. And you just let them be there and let your body handle it. I wake up and I just live life, and those sensations may pop up along the way, and that's okay. They come and then they go. I was so wrapped up in how I felt and the thoughts and the anxiety that I wasn't able to engage with my children or my husband. And I remember the first time that little bit of confidence started to come back. And the first time I told my husband, I said, because it used to be that I was in bed at 6 o'clock, every night, because I just wanted to go to sleep and have some peace. And he did, bath times and all those things. And I remember the first night saying, I think I want to do this tonight. And it was just such an amazing feeling, for my kids. It had become, mommy's not feeling well, mommy's tired. And that's what they would hear. I mean, I don't think they ever knew that I was dealing with anxiety, but that's what my husband would say, or I would say, mommy's not feeling well. And they just accepted that, and they still loved me. But I had so much guilt about not being able to be the mommy that I wanted and knew I wanted to be and could be. And that I was inside, but I just wasn't able to during that time. And so definitely, I mean, the joy that came back when I was able to do that and not have so much anxiety around it, it was just amazing. And then, I think my kids, they noticed that, mommy, you used to not, do things, you used to not color with us, or you used to not read to us, or, and that's one of the things you learn going through this program is just to be present and in the moment. And I was able to forgive myself and let go of the guilt that anxiety had, put on me, because I was able to do these things again. And my kids didn't care that I had not done them. They were just happy I was doing them again. So yeah, just such an amazing, and that's just one of the several things that were on the can't do list that are, marked off, and they're now on my I can, list. Anyone starting out, that I don't want them to think they're going to be this way forever, because I'm living proof that this program really works. You can heal and recover from it. And you learn to look at anxiety in a completely healthy new way. It's not going to always be a struggle to get through the day. That anxiety does not have to rule your life, because it doesn't rule my life anymore. And it did. When I started this program, like I said, I could barely function. I mean, I didn't want to leave the house. I did what I had to do to take care of my children and just get through the day. Now I'm, talking about doing boutiques and I get out every day. I get dressed, I get up, I get out of the house, and I'm just living life. And yeah, for anyone, just starting or thinking of joining, you can get through it. You can heal and recover. Starting this program, you're usually, I know I was very desperate. So it's hard to imagine getting to this point. But I mean, here I am, only 6, 7 months later. I'm living life. I'm enjoying life. I laugh so much more than I used to. I mean, I stopped laughing. And yeah, I just feel like a new and improved Tracy. I mean, just take it one day at a time. And like I said, I mean, I'm living proof that I went through all of those thoughts, all of those kind of phases of it. And it works. I mean, if you just stick with it and you practice what you learn in the program, it absolutely works. And you can have your life back.